Hello, listeners. We hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Outfield Show stream, where all the cricket is condensed in the podcast and brought straight to you. Today, on Throwback Thursday, we're going to revisit a game which India won from the jaws of defeat against South Africa. But before we jump into today's episode, do subscribe to us on our podcast channels available on Spotify and Apple Podcast. You just have to search for the Outfield Show stream in your search bar and you'll find us. Do turn on those notifications for regular updates on upcoming content. Let's get into today's episode of Throwback Thursday. It was India versus South Africa in the 2010-11 series when the two sides met for a bilateral affair. This was the second ODI to be played at Wanderers on the 15th of January in 2011. This was the last series India were playing before that upcoming Cricket World Cup to be played at home. This was their last shot to get all of those balances right and rectify all of those minor errors and mistakes. The South African side had the likes of Graeme Smith, AB de Villiers, Hashim Amla, Dale Steyn, and Morne Morkel all at their prime. They were the number one test side then, of course, and a side to beat in ODIs as well. This was the best practice MS Dhoni could have asked for his men. However, in the first innings, after South Africa put India into bat, South Africa impressed with disciplined bowling performance under overcast skies on a slowish track. India approached their innings very cautiously and using the movement, South African bowlers capitalized on the swing and seam on offer. Lonwabo Sotsobe was at his best. His role in ODIs has largely been containing one, but his accuracy amid India's pressure to accelerate earned him his best match figures of 4 for 22. India too faltered in their batting power play, losing 4 wickets for just 14 runs to undermine what Yuvraj and Dhoni had achieved during the fighting recovering stand. Yuvraj and Dhoni added 83 for the 4th wicket, where Yuvraj made 53 of 68 balls and Dhoni added 38, the only two batsmen who looked fairly comfortable where the others struggled to put bat on ball. The pair had to build from scratch, following the wickets of Sachin Tendulkar and Virat Kohli in quick succession. Displaying little signs of getting bogged down, neither batsman felt compelled to take undue risks and instead ensured a steady scoring rate by working the field. Both used the sweep and the paddle to great effect, while Yuvraj also drove the ball straight down the ground a couple of times to pinch on those 2s and 3s and 4s at some occasion. Too long gone, that was wider than usual. Bad balls were a rarity, but Yuvraj was prompt to punish them when on offer. He slashed Morkel over point and glanced Sotsobe to fine leg boundary to raise his half century. The stand, as I said, was worth 83 with 13 more overs to go. A score of 240 was on, and that looked par on this slowish, sluggish wicket. India didn't go that far though. Looking at the manic developments in the game when we listen to the second innings, it seems like even a score of 190, which India made, was enough. Let's see how South Africa managed the chase and triggered a thrilling finish. The South African batsmen were staring at a score of 190 to be chased down. The openers Hashim Amla and Graeme Smith walked down to the centre, and for the mighty Proteas, this wasn't supposed to be an uphill task on a small Wanderers ground and on a wicket that was expected to play better in the second half of the game. It was all about how long will South Africa take to end this torment of the Indian bowlers. But as they say, the small totals are the one which prove to be tricky, and that's exactly what happened this game. Graeme Smith started positively and he was ruthless in his treatment of the bad balls. The Indians rolled out those bad balls more often than their opponents had earlier in the day, and despite periodic breakthroughs from the other end, it was South Africa who were always on top. Munaf was punished for consecutive boundaries through mid-off and point, while Zaheer was pulled through mid-wicket when he pitched short. Initially a little rusty against Harbhajan Singh, Smith stepped out to the off-spinner to combat the turn and take the ball off a length. He kept threading those gaps in the outfield to squeeze boundaries off the seamers and went past 6,000 runs in ODIs in this game. Smith's shaky yet productive stand with Colin Ingram, a fluent partnership with JP Duminy, and an increasingly threatening association with David Miller had continued the one-way traffic set up by the South African bowlers. But at 152 for 4 in the second over of the batting power play, a reversal began. South Africa's bowlers had exploited the movement of the pitch in restraining India, and Munaf had managed to price out the wicket of Hashim Amla with a delivery that ripped back in. In the 33rd over, he managed to dart one back in from outside off towards Smith, who played on and lost his wicket. In the next over, after he'd been flicked to the fine leg boundary, Zaheer shortened his length and dismissed Miller with an off-cutter that the batsman failed to pull and gloved to short fine leg. And when he returned in the 36th over, Zaheer was fortunate enough to dismiss Johan Botha, who was given LBW playing back to a good length delivery when it seemed the ball had only made contact with the outer half of the bat and not with the pad. But this match wasn't being played with the DRS, so Johan Botha had to make the long walk back to the pavilion. Wayne Parnell, the bowling all-rounder, calmed the nerves of a capacity Wanderers crowd with a square-cut boundary and a promising stand with Dale Steyn. But Steyn's attempt to risk a single and retain the strike for the 39th over resulted in a run-out when Yuvraj barely managed to break the stumps before the ball slipped out of his hands. From 177 for 8, Parnell and Mockle braved a determined spell from Zaheer, managed a streaky boundary of part-time off-spinner Suresh Raina, and took South Africa within 4 runs of a 2-0 lead. The game was still South Africa's when Munaf began bowling in the 43rd over. 4 runs were needed with 2 wickets in hand, but India came back strongly with 2 bad deliveries which the South African batsmen should have put away. India bowled 2 short of length deliveries that the tail-enders Morne Mockle and Wayne Parnell, who had batted calmly until then, felt were too good to resist. With 3 needed for victory, Mockle slashed one straight to the substitute fielder Yusuf Pathan at point, and of the last ball of the over, Parnell, keen to finish the game with a flare, was out to Munaf, caught by Yuvraj Singh. He slashed the ball straight to Yuvraj Singh at backward point. This sparked violent celebrations in the Indian camp while leaving South Africa shell-shocked at their sudden capitulation. They threw all the hard work away in the 43rd over from Munaf. In conditions less favourable for batting than what the venue had offered in the past, Graeme Smith had put South Africa on course with a positive innings, but his wicket in the 33rd over triggered a collapse that was a product of panic, some bad luck, and some needling Indian bowling. Munaf Patel's spell proved to be decisive as he dislodged Smith and ended South African innings with 2 wickets in the 43rd over when the hosts were just a shot away from victory. Munaf won the man of the match in this game, and South Africa had made a mess of what should have been a comfortable chase of a below-par total at Wanderers, stumbling in the batting power play and then sinking to a defeat in a thrilling finish. This is why they carry the Chokers tag till this day. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Throwback Thursday. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and if you enjoy listening to us, do follow us on Instagram and YouTube. The links are mentioned in the description below. Thank you and see you tomorrow with an episode of Friday Fact Check. Until then, stay safe, take care, and see you.